It's with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey everybody, this is Attilio. So I want to talk to you about a couple things. Well, I always like to do like a self-improvement thing at the beginning of the show, but I think I'm going to go into the old boring real estate thing and talk about question number 13 on the seller's disclosure. This is something new on our new seller's disclosure. For those of you who don't know, Adrienne, what's a seller's disclosure?
So it is a document that the sellers must fill out to their best of their knowledge and be very very truthful about their home. And there's a lot of questions on there.
What's the phrase we use? What is it they got to talk about the property?
Just anything that, any kind of material facts.
There we go.
Anything that would affect the value.
Did you say material facts?
Yes, material facts.
And Kimo Stone, God bless his attorney heart, he goes, Attilio. I'm going to do my impersonation of Kimo Stone in case he's listening. Attilio, what is a material fact? And then it's so funny because, if you had a brain surgeon that was like going to do brain surgery and then like he comes in the day before the surgery, does a consult and says, well, doctor, yes, I have this issue. You're going to be operating. Tell me about the operation. Well, we're going to kind of crack open your head. Kind of like when Heineken, with a beer bottle opener, and then we're going to go inside. Look around. If I see anything like kind of purple, I'm going to take them out. So you back up, put some staples in and send you home. No, you'd be like, no. A material fact. So Kimo would always ask, what is a material fact? And it was very simple. All he had to do is read what it says in the document. Would you like me to read that, Adrienne?
Yes, verbatim.
Material facts are defined as any fact, defect, or condition, past or present, that would be expected to measurably affect the value to a reasonable person of the residential real property being offered for sale. You notice how it said past or present.
And reasonable person.
Past or present. And as Kimo would say, underline past, underline present.
What about reasonable?
He would probably say underline reasonable for being offered for sale. So if you're a seller, I'm just giving you a heads up what's going on in this market. Are the buyers saying, gosh darn it, we're so thankful we got that property. If anything happens with this property, we're not going to bother the seller after the close.
No, especially all these buyers that paid $100,000, $200,000 over appraised value, over the list price. Things are going to, I think, start to come.
It's going to turn into a fatal attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear some, well, not like a fate. It could be, but it's just people are less forgiving, less graceful. Now, if it's the other market, they buy a home, and then 6 months later, 1 year later, it's like worth 100,000 more. You'll never hear from those people.
They're very happy.
So just be aware, the seller's disclosure.
Honest to a fault.
Don't be like those people on the dating apps. You put your high school graduation picture, and in reality, you just got your membership for AARP. And I'm not making fun of anybody because I just turned 55. I'm not on any dating apps, but I do qualify for AARP.
And the McDonald's senior discount.
McDonald's discount. All my people, in Hawaii, we go like this. You can always tell how people's perception of you, of how old you are when they say what?
Oh, would you like the senior discount? Would you like the senior discount?
No.
Oh,
auntie, uncle.
Yes.
When they start calling you auntie, uncle, you're like, I look older now. Now be careful if they call you grandma, grandpa. Tutu. Unless you're Frank DeLima doing one taxi commercial, then it's okay to call you Tutu. But again, back to real estate, be honest to a fault. Let's go into the life thing about honesty and stuff like that with people, in that it's always, my dad always says, tell the truth because you have less to remember. Now, there's being honest and there's being kind. What's the difference, Adrian? Or is there a difference? Is being honest being kind?
Yes. And I would say that sometimes the kindest thing is to just keep your mouth shut and not share. But
I got to be honest, Adrian, I'm looking, I saw this lady walking her baby in a baby stroller. I'm like, your baby's so ugly. I think I'm going to use one Pokeball to catch him.
No, the kind thing would keep that to yourself. Keep that comment.
That's honesty, though. But that's okay.
You can be telling yourself that.
To be kind is to be clear. And a lot of times people confuse that with like giving direct feedback and unsolicited and all of that. There are nuances, is the point I'm making, that when you're sharing people, we're talking about being like, there's a document here. A legal document that we have you fill out. Hawaii Revised Statute 508D. This is actually part of our law that you got to fill this out.
This document is the cause of, I would say, most lawsuits on the sales side.
On the sales side, yes, disclosure or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. And then big bold letters halfway down the page. Oh, and you know what? Here's a new part that they just added to it too. Check this out. Hold your horses. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more boring. No, not that part. I said in the beginning, they're like, hey, Attilio, what about question 13? Well, I'm glad you reminded me, Adrian.
Oh, you're segueing.
Oh, so this is a new question. Does the property lie within the sea level rise exposure area designated by Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission? Let me say that one more time. Question number 13, page 2 of the seller's disclosure that was developed by the Hawaii Association of Realtors. And by the way, everybody, just us on Oahu use this?
Everyone
all in the state
Hawaii,
of Hawaii. Hawaii ne.
So there's even comments on there about lava zones. And
Koki frogs.
Yep. Which we don't really have here.
Annoying neighbors who cannot sing good when they do karaoke at 2 in the morning. No, none of that question. I'm lobbying for that question. Do you have neighbors that sing
could be like
horrible karaoke at 2 in the morning?
That could just be extra disclosure, extra credit. You could just write a comment.
It's not a miracle material fact. It's a material annoyance. Are you a reverse Parker? No, we can't.
It would affect the value.
Reverse Parkers are a protected class.
They're always having bad karaoke every day.
But I digress back to the topic. Does the property lie within the sea level rise exposure area designated by the Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission? If you want to know if your home, if you live at Makakilo, don't be a knucklehead and wondering if your home lies within the sea level rise. You are more than 3 feet higher than the current sea level. If you're getting ocean up there, the whole planet is messed up.
There's a problem.
And we're going to be at your house because I got to sleep over. But anyway, go to our website. We don't have it there just yet, but go to teamlally.com. We're going to give you the link. You can type in your address for any island and see where. Okay, so real easy. People are like, I'm confused by this map. It's a map with pictures on it. Blue means you're going to be in that area in the next however many years, 1 to 2, 3 feet wide. 3 feet wide. 50 or 100. White means good. Blue means bad. Blue means water going to be in your front yard, backyard.
It's just that you need to be cautious and careful with answering question number 13.
If you're a seller on the ocean, you've got to go. There's a whole separate addendum that you've got to answer. Buyers, you got to ask for those. Be fully aware if you're buying your dream property that's on the ocean.
All right. So we have an expert we trust. We have Ha'aheo from PSI Seminars to share with us a little bit about what's coming up.
So Ha'aheo, what is our personal growth opportunity this week for our listeners?
Growth opportunity this week.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, we do have some presentations going on for our next basic seminar that starts in July.
Yes.
And next week on June 16th, we have a business leaders presentation, and we have business leaders who will share how they went from just barely scraping by to creating multi-million-dollar businesses using the iBasic seminar.
Yes. In fact, Adrian, how invested are we? How in PSI regarding our W-2 employees?
Well, our W-2 employees, we take care of the investment.
We pay for them to go. We give them the time off. We give them the time off, paid
time off, and we encourage them to go. So that happens usually.
I think it's a little stronger word than encourage.
It's actually in our position agreement.
It's required. They got to sign.
So yeah. And if they don't go, then they can go somewhere else, work somewhere else.
Well, we release them to other opportunities.
Exactly. But everyone has been very happy to go and have gotten quite a bit out of, attending the PSI basic seminar.
Yeah.
So we would encourage any of our listeners to go and check this out for themselves.
I have my niece and her boyfriend is going to the next basic. She has come such a long way from just being a high school graduate with little ones to owning a home. And she's always speaking about, Uncle, I want to grow this and I want to grow that. And I said, good. And I for the Kahale, before I go any further with this story, there's people that are in PSI, and they want people that love to go to PSI. What would be your recommended approach for the people that know it's a good thing and want their friends and loved ones to attend?
Well, it's always sometimes challenging to share with the people that are closest to you.
Yeah.
And so I always encourage them to bring these people to a presentation so that they can hear from others that maybe not related, that can share what they've gained, and that it might pique their interest, give them some hope, get them excited, so that they make a choice to enroll in the upcoming class.
What about saying, hey, can you walk to the 7-Eleven, get me on Gatorade? Then you get a couple of your buddies, you pull up in one van, throw one bag over their head, duct tape their hands and feet, and then drag them.
No.
Yeah, not the most effective.
No.
I don't think so. No, Attilio.
You mean kidnapping? We cannot use kidnapping. No, okay.
We cannot.
No.
I've definitely had people drop their best friend off and leave me the money and say they think they're going for coffee. It really comes to
coffee for 3 days in a straight. You know what?
And then that woman owns her own real estate brokerage today. So she's always ever so grateful. It wasn't the easiest moment at that. Definitely.
When this person they went drop off, did they have pieces of duct tape around their mouth?
No.
Okay.
No, she's free to talk. She just said, told I was having coffee. And I said, we have water.
Yeah. You know what I would have said? See, lucky you guys don't have me at the facility. I say, nah, it's not coffee. This is Amway. It's not Amway. I was in Amway. I can make that joke because that's what everybody do. You talk about everything but the word, and you show up here like, hey, it's not baby's first birthday. It's Amway. But
we definitely tell them, use the term Personal Success Institute. Let them know.
Tell the truth.
What you're coming to. Yes, tell the truth.
Be authentic, be honest.
Yes, and we provide all the information they need. And it's a money-back guarantee. There are very few places in the world today where you can sit through the entire class and say, it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Yes.
I want my money. And 49 years of being able to provide that service because we know we can deliver.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
July 15th is the weekend. And then,
right. And then
July 15th, just in Hawaiian Village.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Ha'aheo.
Thank you, Ha'aheo.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. So any of our listeners, you can go to psiseminars.com and find out about the upcoming seminars.
Speaking of Top Gun, we have the Maverick of financial planning. Kyle
Shimoda.
From where?
From where? Impact Wealth Solutions.
Hello. I've been meaning to watch the new Top Gun show.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. Are you like when you have the sequel, do you watch the first one first and then go?
Again?
No. You watch the first Top Gun and then you go watch the new one.
Yes.
To get caught up again. Because it was like
this time.
20 years ago, wasn't it? It was a long time ago.
Longer than that.
30 years ago.
I think it was like in the 80s. Yeah.
But
and Tom Cruise is still doing it.
The Scientology, man, and whatever. Botox, Scientology and Botox, keeping him looking young.
Okay, and on to more important topics. Let's talk about the DST, Kyle. What is this DST?
Yeah, what's a 1031 and a DST? Sounds like a drug prescription for a rash or something.
All these numbers and letters.
Yeah.
So the 1031 exchange is what people do when they sell. Oftentimes, when they sell an investment property to avoid the capital gains tax, they'll do a 1031 exchange. So IRC 1031 allows them to replace that investment property with another investment property, and then completely avoid the capital gains tax.
That sounds
like a great sounds like a great strategy. Now, what happens if somebody's like they're doing this 1031 and there's really no inventory, or they keep missing out on offers because this market is still, kind of tight.
Yeah.
With availability, what would be your suggestion? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where a Delaware statutory trust can be a good option or alternative. And it might even be for those people that have an investment property and they're tired of managing it because they've got the terrible T's, terrible tenant. They're worried about the toilets and the trash that they have to fix, replace, repair. And so they want to get out of the management game, yet stay in real estate and avoid the capital gains tax. So they can sell a property, do a 1031 exchange, and a Delaware statutory trust is the only securitized real estate that qualifies as a lifetime property in an exchange. It allows for fractional ownership into institutional grade commercial property.
Institutional grade? You mean like one flew over the cuckoo's nest institutions?
There might be in there. We don't have those at the moment.
Hey, mental
hospitals could be included.
There's a need for mental health.
Hospitals, nursing homes.
Let's hope you don't get Nurse Ratched. That's all. But yeah, it's interesting because some name brands or brand names or corporate names you might recognize. Walmart, right? A bunch of those are owned by DSTs. Amazon, yeah. So it's and is this something new? We just started this last week. They came up with this?
No,
it's been around for a while.
It's been in the IRS code since 2004. So you can actually look up IRC 2004-86 and learn more about how the DST works. Just like look up RC 1031 and learn about how that exchange works.
Or you can go to teamlally.com/DST.
There you go.
And it's all it's very easy.
The next webinar.
And come to the next webinar. Sign up.
We make it so easy, even an 11-year-old can understand it. But man, some of these 11-year-olds, they're pretty sharp. And so you have an investment property, you're tired of all the not the three T's, like multiple T's, tenants, trashing, torching, tuberculosis. No, not tuberculosis. I was thinking of negative things, TROs, torching people with it, and then giving them a TRO. But then the company that provides the DST, they do the management. Is that correct?
Yep, they purchase the property with their cash, and then they securitize it into these Delaware statutory trusts, and then they open up to investors. And so you have to be an accredited investor to qualify to do a DST. And most people in Hawaii, if you own investment property and a primary residence, and you've got a 401k and other accounts, you're likely accredited. So $1 million of net worth, excluding your residential property. Yeah.
And if you're not too sure, give us a call. We're not hard sell. We don't pull up in a van, throw a bag over your head, and duct tape you and drag you to a DST seminar. We don't do that.
Let's see that. Yeah, like Kyle and his team actually look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best option is not to do a DST.
Yes.
So just have the conversation, just have the discovery call, and see if it would be a good strategy to add, to what you're already doing.
You guys should have on commercial. What's in your 1031 wallet? A DST.
I love it.
Yeah. So, okay. And, we say this over and over on the show because people are like, what's the DSC? What's the DSC? And I found out that the hearing aid wasn't turned on. That's why they kept, no. It's such something that's new that you got to keep explaining it over and over. You have an investment property, 1031 into a DST, get the income, get the growth, minus the headaches.
It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a great way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kyle, for your tip, as
Thank
always.
you.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yep. So you can get a hold of Kyle and his team by going to teamlally.com/DST. You can find out more about that and even schedule some time with him from that page.
Hit our resources tab. I just had it added a couple of weeks ago, but nutritionfact.org. And it tells you what's the real situation with something like, I don't know, a thousand, I don't know if it's 1,000 foods, but at least 1,000 different foods, and all the things that you need to know about that food and to be, make healthy choices with your eating. You never thought you'd get that on a real estate site. Speaking of not getting what you expected, but exceptionally high levels of service, who do we have next?
We've got Jody Tonga, the mortgage genius from Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Hey, Jody.
How's it going?
Going great. What you got for us this week?
I just wanted to talk about the things that should be considered and when deciding what lender to work with.
Yeah.
And when that should be considered.
Okay.
So
the who, what, when, where, and why.
A dialogue as well, just to hear your thought process. But I recently had a interesting, clear and transparent communication with a buyer that we've been working with for 6 months.
Yeah.
That has, submitted multiple offers, probably more than 4.
Yes.
And I counted over 31 different property estimates. So that's just we're considering submitting an offer on this property, and we always because in my opinion you have to know what your monthly payment's going to be in order to have confidence in numbers and decide whether or not you actually even want to submit an offer.
Yes.
So for me not to provide that doesn't really make sense in any scenario where offer is in consideration. So that's the backstory. And then
So wait a second, Jody. So they've only actually gone through with 4, but you've done 31 different scenarios.
That's correct.
Okay. Go on.
And yes, and spent a ton of time in terms of explaining. They have about 45,000 to work with, and it's really cutting it close to. I'm showing them estimates where they need 47,000 needed to close. It's a very close relationship when you're working with your lender and making sure that the loan is going to work and making sure that they're comfortable with their monthly payment and making sure that they know exactly how much they're going to need out of pocket and all that communication, right?
Well, we had a buyer real quick, Jody, that was like, hey, I missed out on this property. And I said, no, we checked in the seller, we were checking in. I said, hey, I missed out on the property because somebody was in escrow. We check, the offer's not that good. Most likely going to fall out. So we're like, with the client, before they start putting that thing back, the ball in our court, I said, wait a minute. We were working with you, and and here's the question I asked them. And Adrian or Jody, tell me why it's important that you ask this question. If you're a realtor and or a buyer, be asked this question. Are you pre-approved with an Oahu lender or Hawaii?
Or Hawaii, local lender. Why is that important, Jody?
Why is that important? Jody and Adrian is my question for both of you with a Hawaii lender.
I think it's important because there's so many aspects associated with the overall transaction and property that we are very accustomed to that many mainland lenders are not.
I think because when you sit down with them after eating cuttlefish and poi, they'll be like, oh, yeah. But if they're local, they'll be like, oh, give me some.
No,
that's not the reason.
Yeah, Jody, is exactly right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, these buyers come in with their mainland lenders or Loan Depot or whatever, and it's a very small probability that it's going to go through. There's always issues. As a listing agent, we don't like seeing those.
Don't take it the wrong way. This is not like Hawaii xenophobia. This is practical knowledge that we're giving you, that we see in the trenches why people are losing out on properties.
Yeah, it could cost you your dream home by not working with someone who's familiar. The mainland
lender's like, I got it. We're taking this vanilla ice cream approach across the whole United States.
You know what it is? It's kind of like with real estate, how we're not supposed to operate or work outside of our scope.
Yeah,
I think they should have that same thing for lenders. Like if they are not familiar with the state, just
listen to our show and you get the advice. There you go.
Work with Jody and her team.
There you go.
Or someone local.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. No.
Work with Jody and her team.
First, yes, work with Jody and her team.
We don't even recommend any other Oahu or Hawaii lenders. It's just Jody or Derek. That's her brother. That's the brother.
Okay.
There's your two choices.
Okay, go on with your story.
Yeah.
Jody, sorry to keep interrupting.
As we all know, interest rates have moved. So I'm showing him, okay, here's the rate, the last rate we talked about, but you're going to notice that the cost associated with it has gone up. And I'm also showing you a higher interest rate, but still keeping you at 0 points. And I want to educate you on that difference. And I want you to understand that, right? So I'm providing this, we're talking about it and answering questions, etc. And all of a sudden he goes, so I decided I'm going to shop around. So this is after he submitted his most recent offer. He decides he's going to shop around for a lender. And I called him and I said, hey, I just want to be 100% transparent. I value your business. I want you to know it's a little late in the game to be shopping a lender after I've issued your pre-approval letter for this particular offer. So he then got a little bit defensive, which I get, I understand. But he was like, oh, so you're scaring me and telling me that I don't have a right to talk to other lenders and I don't have a right to educate myself and that you're not protecting my consumer rights. And, I said, well, that's a big jump. We've been working together for 6 months. You shopped initially before deciding that we were going to start doing business together. I've done over 31 estimates for you, spent over probably 10 hours on the phone with you.
Yeah.
Talking about pros and cons and points and no points and closing costs and appraisal clauses and this, that, and the other. I'm just saying that after I issued the pre-approval letter, now you're saying that you're going to shop lenders. So I think I'm saying it's a little late in the game. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you don't have a right, and he tried to get all technical on me.
Well, you're a lot nicer. I would have said, take it easy, Perry Mason, with your online law degree. Put the gun back in the holster. Take it easy. Just trying to give you some good advice. Jody, and I know you don't need to say it, but we will. And we know this, is that when we get a pre-approval from you at a particular price point, so long as there's nothing outside that's a total curveball, it's going through. And I will tell you folks that are listening right now, that's not been the case with other lenders that we've received offers on.
It's basically a loan approval, but we just need to get the appraisal.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
As long as it appraises, right? And
that's the kind
it
of
doesn't
research.
Burn down before the close date is going to go through.
Well, hopefully he does his research and confirms that you guys are the best.
Well, and Jody, don't people get annoyed because you do so much paperwork up front? And that's like, I'm talking the good kind of annoying, like I'm your personal trainer and you got one more in you. And then you put the bench up and I go, I think you got one more. Yeah, it's annoying, but you're growing.
Yeah. And that's it, honestly. And so I didn't had to take a woosah, but I told myself, don't take it personally.
Yes.
And I just explained to him why I felt like him now all of a sudden calling these different lenders. And, anyways, he apologized and we're still working together.
Good.
But it's like, hey, buyers, you guys have every right And I strongly recommend that you shop.
Yes.
But not after working with someone for 6 months and getting 31 sets of numbers and submitting 4 offers and basically being on the verge of getting an accepted offer.
Yeah.
Then being like, oh, yeah, it's my given right to shop. I mean,
shop up front.
Yeah.
Yes. That's proper etiquette.
It's like, hey, if you're going to have second thoughts, make sure before they give you the extra key to the house that you have that discussion.
Yep.
And you put all your stuff in their house. Anyway.
Right.
That's great advice. One way or the other, you support them, but your lock's, solid, as we say, with your pre-approvals. Thanks,
All right.
Jody.
Thank you, Jody. So you can get a hold of Jody and her team by going to teamlally.com, visit the resource tab, and experts we trust.
Hey, before we take a break, we've got a review I want to share with you.
Yes.
From Tameka Demps. This is regarding Deborah Voos, who's on our team. I worked with Debbie from Team Lally, and it was an amazing experience. The process was quick and painless, and she provided weekly calls to give me updates and where the house was at in the escrow process. I would 10/10 recommend working with Debbie. She's been great to work with, and I definitely work with her again. It's like she's lifting up on barbell and got like 10 stars on one side and 10 stars on the other, and she's bench pressing 10/10.
So good job, Deb.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking to award-winning songwriter and producer Stef Mariani. She'll be talking to us about her new release song and music video.
So we're begging you, please stay with us.
Hey, it's Dita Holyfield with the Royal Ride on Country 97.5, and I gotta know, what would you do with an extra $162,000? That's the amazing outcome Harvey and Ray experienced after working with Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Honolulu. Even though their home wasn't in the best shape, Team Lally invested in the cleanup of Harvey and Ray's property, so it was in perfect condition for their first open house. After 9 offers, the home closed for a whopping $961,000, which is $162,000 over asking. Can you believe it? Every year, my friends Adrian and Attilio sell over 100 homes. But when you list with Team Lally, you feel like their only client. Now that's service. Join the Team Lally Ohana today by calling 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. Or visit teamlally.com today.
Hello, Hawaii. It's Colin Coward. Things may have changed in the sports world, but the games must go on. Look, I invest in real estate all over America, and right now with the ultra-low interest rates everywhere, if you're serious about selling your home, you need to talk to my friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally, Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Honolulu. Team Lally's incredible marketing with 3D tours and its huge database of buyers has continued to sell homes quickly with multiple offers over the asking price. Adrian and Attilio continue to spend tens of thousands per month on marketing to attract hundreds of buyers every month using a unique app that communicates daily with over 3 million luxury home buyers around the United States. Adrian and Attilio guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it themselves. Give Adrian and Attilio a call at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com. And start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, be sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Hawaii, I would hire Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Their marketing strategy is so effective that if your home doesn't sell on terms you agree to, Team Lally will buy it. Partner with the team I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
When we want the latest real estate news in Hawaii, we always turn to Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Honolulu. What's going on in the market now?
So Clay and Buck, you're wondering what's going on with the market? Adrian, tell them.
The market's on fire.
Single-family homes here in Hawaii have gone up 30% year to date. And for those of you that have been sitting on the fence a year ago saying, I'm going to wait, homes are only getting more expensive. And I'm sorry to say for the people that were saying, I'm going to wait till these things start slowing down or maybe the market crashes. That's not going to happen, Adrian. What's your advice for someone looking at this market right now?
You got to jump in. It's time to get into the market. It's a great time to be a buyer or a seller.
Thanks and aloha.
Check out all the reviews and see why thousands trust Team Lally. Google Team Lally, or if you want immediate answers, give them a call at 799-9596. The Team Lally Real Estate Show continues.
Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guest today was born and raised in Santa Cruz, living in the Hawaiian Islands for the past 10 years. This has given her the inspiration to pour out her heart and soul by way of words and music.
She is a Hawaii real estate and negotiation specialist and a Nahoku award-winning songwriter, producer, and the founder of Stay Gold Hawaii. Here today to talk about her new release song and music video, please welcome our friend, or welcome back our friend, I should say, Stef Mariani.
Yes.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yes, we are so excited to have you back and have you, share with our audience about what you've been up to. You've been so busy with writing and creating new songs and even a book. So please share with us.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've been busy, and you guys know me. I've always got a creative project going on, but so I'll start with the book. Well, it's based on a song I wrote called Stay Gold in 2016 that won a Nahoku Award. And it's interesting because people ask me, what is your song about? And I don't tend to really share that with people and articulate it. And really, I create music so people can apply it really to themselves. So it's created in more of a subjective kind of a manner. But in the pandemic, because I couldn't go and perform, people started asking me, what does it mean? What does it mean? So I created a matrix, and it's an 8-point principle, the Stay Gold principle, and it's an acronym based on the 8 letters of the title of the song. And it's basically just a value system that really has helped me get through a lot of really hard times in my life. And so people were like, well, how did you come through so many difficult things? And it's kind of cool because my challenges in my life have turned into a great purpose for me to support other people. So I'm writing a book, and I'm telling my story for the first time, and why I care. Why do I care? It's like, why is that important? And I didn't get to just glaze over it and let everybody guess. I had to really do some personal work so I could articulate it. So I have been very actively doing that.
Okay, so it's...
You also have a group on Facebook, a Stay Gold group that people can join. Yeah. So why don't you share that so people that are listening, they can check it out. I know you post a lot, and there are a lot of positive things, and you interview a lot of great people. Live stream.
Yeah. And you've been my guest too, Adrian. You were amazing. And people were blown away by your story. You have an amazing story. And you're a very strong individual. And really the group it became a movement. The people created a movement, and we're like, hey, let's be organized, let's get together, and let's, people of like mind and like intention, like us, who want to create a better world by being better, by starting on the inside.
Give us one of the acronym thingies, Stay Gold.
Okay.
What is one of
All right, so, okay, yeah. I'll give you a couple to whet your appetite, okay? Sure. So first I'm going to preface it by saying that I was raised till I was 7 years old by my great-grandmother, who was born in 1894 in Italy.
Oh, wow.
So Yeah, so I was gifted forward by and mentored by her and my grandmother and great aunt who were also born in Italy, and I have these incredible old world values and really principles that are real easy to remember that help me when I'm going through a hard time. Right? It's like, how do you dig yourself out of, divorce? Or like for me, I escaped a very high controlled religious organization. So I had some like brainwashing going on that I had to play mental Jenga with myself, to get out of. But the way that you guys can join, if anybody's interested, is you can go to thestaygoldmovement.com and you can look at my music, watch my music videos. You can sign up to get the book when it's ready. And you can also join the movement right there. So it's real easy to access.
So thestaygoldmovement.com.
Correct.
All right.
And if you why not, it's the stay gold.
No.
Oh, bro, you stay gold. Oh,
you stay gold?
Not doing good today, but tomorrow, so thestaygold.com. And
staygoldmovement.com.
The staygoldmovement.com.
Oh, movement.com. Got the word movement. Okay.
Yes. So you have your book. You're going to maybe talk about a couple acronyms. We want to make sure that we've got enough time also to talk about your new song and music video as well.
Yeah, tell us about the song. What's the title?
Okay, so we'll start with the song. So the song is called Use My Imagination, and this is the latest creative work out of the movement. And it's a song that's written for the people to comfort them who are sending their loved ones to war right now, which is happening not just in Ukraine. This is happening in other parts of the world. Yeah, this has been going on in Africa for a long time. So I had this really incredible, really good friend who's part of the Navajo Nation, and he created the music video. So, and all I told him is, just make it inclusive.
Yes.
Which he did. And that video is like... It was just so just pulling on the heartstrings, and he did an amazing job. I would encourage everybody to go out.
Where can they see it?
Yes. Where is it that they can find this new video, Stef?
So they can go to YouTube and put in Stef Mariani, Use My Imagination. Also, if they go to thestaygoldmovement.com and just go hit the music button, it's going to pop right up.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of like a one-stop shop for that. Yeah, but so that's our latest work, because really, there's some things we can't do anything about, but what we can do is we can look at the fact that we have an opportunity right now to be unified on a global scale. Nobody wants war. This is not cool. One person trying to be, I don't know what could possibly be worth human life, exchanging human life. It's just ridiculous. And I think for the first time in my lifetime, everybody on this planet is on the same page except you about that. No more war. And that's the name of the song. Use my imagination. No more war.
So
exactly.
So Stef, can you share with our listeners how this creative work or this song came to you? I felt like it was a very kind of surreal thing that had happened in the process.
Yeah. So I don't watch the news too much because there's only so much I can do about what's happening, and it affects me personally very deeply.
Yeah.
But I thought, we all saw the images of these women and men and children sending their loved ones in the Ukraine to war, and they're crying because they don't know if they'll ever see them again. And I think a lot of people in this country and, in all countries have experienced this type of thing. And so I saw that, and I just sat down in 5 minutes and sat with my emotions, and I picked it out with my guitar. I created the music first, and then I was like, okay, now that's the emotion, and now what are the words that go with it?
Yeah.
And the words are, and you guys will see when you go to the site, but the words are essentially like, we're sitting here in Hawaii and we love you. We're on the same side. Like, we support you, we comfort you. And sometimes just knowing that you're not alone gets you through what you're going through. And so that if that's all we can do, that's actually really powerful.
Well, we learned from Deepak Chopra that an atom can be millions of light years apart or right next to each other, but through the, science of quantum physics, they have an effect.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we're halfway around the world, we're just creating the song itself and
just
then
having an effect.
And having it out there is sending.
And it's a beautiful song.
A message.
It is such a beautiful song. Now, I know you have some upcoming appearances. I think you had messaged me about one coming up on, is it June 24th?
Yeah, where's that one at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, actually, I'm playing the Keller Williams grand reopening.
Which
so I will be
very
there performing.
Excited. We're very excited to see you there.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, for sure. And then
I figured.
And then where's this other?
June 24th.
And then the other one, that's going to be Friday, June 24th at Workplay in Kaka'ako. I'm going to be playing from 6 to 8 live, and it's a free show. Come have dinner. Come say hello. Introduce yourself to me, please. Would love to meet you.
And, support our artists. If you have any requests for music, if she does ask them, please write them on a $20 bill and put them in her tip jar.
Yes, or a $50 bill. No,
$50 bill. Oh, yeah.
Inflation.
Everything went up with the COVID.
You guys, inflation.
Everything went up with the COVID. Everything.
Except our wages. So, there's that.
Adrian, what else?
Oh, so Stef, where else, are you going to be performing coming up? Or if our listeners go to your site, do you have it all listed there if they cannot make it on the 24th?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys can go to StefMariani.com. That's StefMariani. StefMariani.com. And if you go to events, you'll see all my shows coming up. Please come see me. You'll also see all my press and all the articles, and not all of them, but some of the highlighted articles that talk about the work that I do.
Yeah. Well, to kind of come to the tail end of our interview, here's a question for you. What, tell us the story of how you got involved in music. That's always a interesting story.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a really common question. So I was privileged to be born into it. So my mother is a singer-songwriter, and my grandfather was a jazz pianist, and all my uncles and brothers are singer-songwriters also. So
Wait a minute.
It's literally...
Is your mother Carole King and your brothers are like the Eagles? No. Oh, sorry. That was a different... That was a documentary. I had this documentary. Okay.
So funny. No, like all Northern California, very like folk country vibe. Yeah. And my uncles, though, they're metal, and my grandfather's jazz, and but my brothers are like blues and folk and Americana, so kind of similar to what I do.
Yeah.
So I just grew. I mean, literally, I came out of the womb. I was in my mom's band when I'm 3 years old, rehearsing with them, and I know. Yeah,
you were setting up the drum set. You were a roadie at 3. You're like, I gotta finish setting up the drums. I gotta go change my diaper. I'll be right back.
Right. You know what? Actually, it's not even that funny. That's actually kind of true.
Yeah.
Like when your parents are creatives, their brain is in outer space half the time. At least mine were. So it's a blessing, but that could be like a whole nother show. But like, the whole experience is like, it's a blessing. And it's also, you learn to be very independent and take care of yourself.
Well, that's awesome. That reminds me of Sheila and Honey Girl. They was talking with each other. And they go, "Hey, Honey Girl, how come your baby's diaper so full?" And she go, "Oh, because the box said hold up to 20 pounds.
That's disgusting.
It's an awful joke.
Classic Frank DeLima. Frank DeLima. I don't know. Maybe it was Augie T. But anyway.
So funny.
So, Stef, as we're wrapping up the show, is there anything more that you wanted to share with our listeners before we let you go?
Yeah. So I'm going to share, since we have time, I'll share one letter in the Stay Gold principle. One core value is going to be the T.
The T.
And that is truth. So stay truthful. And that's a tricky one, especially like as I'm writing my book, because it's like, how do you find truth? And the answer is that you find the truth inside of you. You literally have this incredible tool called your intuition, like your gut, your belly brain. And we live in a world that shuts us down from the neck down. Like we become good little soldiers, at 5 years old, you're put in a chair and you're told, okay, you can't play at will. You can't go to the bathroom at will.
Yeah.
Now you're part of a system, right? That it shuts us down. So as we grow older, we lose that. So I'll give you another letter.
Yes.
Okay, the Y in Stay Gold is to stay youthful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another show altogether too. Like, how does being youthful improve your life, give you massive results that you want?
Yeah.
And I've taught this in a business setting, and people make money by applying this principle. And these are people internationally. So it's, So yeah, I could go on and on about that.
Well, it's been proven.
Or they could buy your book.
Buy your book, go to your website, come watch you play some music, hang, chill with you, get around you.
Yes.
But you know, they did a study of they took these older gentlemen, they're like in their 80s, they put them in an environment like in this fake village, but then they made the newspapers and how they dressed and what they ate 40 years into the past.
Mm-hmm.
They drew their blood before and they drew their blood afterwards. Their markers for health went up.
Wow.
So there is scientific data backing up that if you act youthfully, your body will be youthful. It's proven. It's proven.
And Stef has some scientific data behind that why and stay
She gets up in the morning and she's like, let's take on the day. Her neighbors, she's been kicked out of so many rentals because her neighbors are like, this person is way too enthusiastic in the morning.
There you go. Oh, no, that is definitely not me in the morning. I become youthful after about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
You're a classic entertainer.
You're after.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, Stef, as always, for coming on and sharing. And we look forward to interviewing you again on a Friday Live. And hopefully we can hear some music on that one. But our
StefMariani.com.
Yes, go check her out online on YouTube. Go check her out in person.
Yeah.
Support the movement.
Yes.
Connect with her on Facebook.
And most importantly, stay gold.
That's right.
Stay gold. And I wanted to say, too, if you guys are by yourself and you're trying to get out and be social, come to my show at Workplay on the 24th. There are lots of people coming out by themselves. It's a great environment. You don't have to know people, and everyone's super friendly. So I just want to put that out there because I think a lot of people are feeling isolated right now.
Come on out.
Come on out. They're sweet. They won't bite. Friendly people.
Nope. Not hard anyway.
Friendly people, like-minded people, and they'll just nibble.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of nibblers, but it's so important to be connected. I think for our mental health. But thank you so much for having me, you guys. You guys are wonderful.
You are too. All right, we'll see you soon, Stef. See you at the party.
Yes.
Oh yes, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Alrighty. Hey, a quick note. I heard we're looking for 30 agents. What's that all about?
Yeah, we are. We are hiring. We actually just brought on two new agents. So we've got space.
28 more spots to fill.
28 more, yes.
All you got to do is go to jointeamlally.com. We got an 80K guarantee. If you don't make 80K in your first year, we will whack you and throw you in the ocean. No, we're not going to do that. We'll write a check for the difference. Mm-hmm. And we put it in writing.
We do.
We got everything. We got coaching. Here's a big thing that I learned about, or that I didn't know, just from talking with our team members, is that it helps them with personal growth. Mm-hmm. We're reading a book today on the psychology of money. It has nothing to do with real estate, but it's all about taking care of your retirement.
Yes, and what you do with all your commissions when you earn them. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John of Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Kyle with Impact Wealth Solutions.
Robinson with Fine Line Paintworks.
Chastity of American Floor and Home.
Jake, Skytech Construction, Roofing and Solar.
Ryan with Zero Res Hawaii.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Woo-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life.
Forever. This is Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home with the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.